Hey gamers, and welcome to my first video on my new channel. And I think it's appropriate that my first video be about an upcoming MMO called Black Desert, because I'm first and foremost an MMO fan, and this is a perfect example of the direction I feel MMOs should be heading in, and really a game that I think is going to embarrass a lot of those big budget AAA titles. But I'll get more into that shortly. Black Desert is an MMO by a Korean development team named Pearl Abyss. It's been in development since 2010. Black Desert takes place in a high fantasy setting and revolves around the conflict between two rival nations, the Republic of Calpheon and the Kingdom of Valencia. The game has been in closed beta since October 2013 and has just started its second closed beta in April 2014. Open beta is planned for later this summer, followed by the Korean launch, they believe, in late 2014. And Pearl Abyss says they have every intention to bring Black Desert west as soon as possible. What does Black Desert bring to the table? Well, a number of things, all of which I'll touch on, but to sum it up, I do so with one word: immersion. Let's be honest, we watch movies and television, read books and play RPGs or story-based games because we want to escape from the monotony of everyday life, and because going out on an epic real-life adventure just isn't in our budget, or because there's just not many opportunities to save the world from our desk. If those movies and books and games don't present you with a story that's appealing or intriguing, or if the story doesn't have depth and a proper progression, or if the characters don't have meaningful interactions, well, if those things aren't done right, the world they've created just isn't believable. Therefore, you change the channel, or you uninstall the game. Those are the things that are lacking in modern MMOs. But don't get the wrong idea, this isn't about writing better stories. It's about creating a virtual world that you like to spend time in. It's about creating more than just a game with levels and bosses, but something that transports you, something that can present you with interesting choices that actually have consequences, something that can simulate danger and success and provide you with meaningful interactions with other characters, whether it be to kill a giant monster or broker a peace between rival guilds, or just peddle your goods in town. Modern massively multiplayer online games are really void of these features and are often not very multiplayer at all. So most adult gamers get bored of them in a matter of weeks, if not days, and then it's back to ranting about the good old days of UO or EQ or Star Wars Galaxies and how nobody makes good games anymore. Everything I've seen and read about Black Desert, which granted is not a whole lot, but what I have seen makes you feel like the world they've created is worthy of your time. And I don't just mean graphically, though graphically the game looks great. But the fact that they seem to have created such an intricate world that's not just monsters and dungeons and arenas, but the makings of a real virtual society. In the past, people talked about gameplay spheres. This described the often very different facets of a game that were totally optional and usually appealed to different kinds of players. But in the end, these facets work together to offer players more than just one way to enjoy the game. An example of this would be UO in Star Wars Galaxies, where one person could play the game completely differently than the next person. You had some people that were outlaws or pirates, and then others that just explored, adventured, did dungeons, and then some who mostly crafted or stayed around one city or another. You had knights who patrolled the outskirts of towns for murderers, and then you had players with political agendas who campaigned to become mayors or rulers of their city in order to institute more reasonable taxes or laws. It was like real life or something. I mean, how far have we gotten from these elements that made online games so much fun? You don't even have to travel in MMOs anymore. You can just click buttons and queue into locations all around the game world. Locations, I might add, that don't even exist for anyone but your party because they're all instanced. Now that's hyperbole, and I'm not a big WoW hater, and I don't intend for this to be about sandbox versus theme park. I realize that there's obviously a large portion of the gamer population that wants very casual, low risk, low investment type of online games. Perhaps even the majority wants that. On the other hand, these same gamers that grew up playing more modern MMOs like WoW are quickly becoming very vocal about the lack of variety. Video games are not just for kids anymore, guys. You developers, maybe you didn't get the memo, but pretty much everyone under the age of 50 grew up playing video games. And those same people have money, and they still seek sources of entertainment. I think it's time to broaden your horizons. Think outside of one demographic. But back on topic. Speaking of broadening your horizons, and this is just my opinion, But almost all of the appealing new or upcoming MMOs aren't even being created in the West, except for Star Citizen. To which I had to give props to Chris Roberts for a very ambitious project. But these games I'm looking forward to, like Archage and Black Desert, are made by Korean developers with the forethought to revisit our MMO roots and attempt to actually expand on the great things that put this genre on the map. And I believe that basic idea was to create a fantasy world that you could experience in many different ways without the quote-unquote golden path. That's what Black Desert is shaping up to be, in my opinion. Now, if you haven't noticed, a lot of what I have to say is more about game design philosophy than the specifics of Black Desert, but I'm going to get into the features now without further ado. First, they created their own engine to support large-scale battles, which is a pretty big undertaking. Black Desert will have action combat. I don't think it's going to be what's referred to as skill-based combat due to there being no actual aiming. It's not going to be FPS style. There's no reticle, no crosshairs in any of the combat videos. But positioning will be important. It will also have mounted combat as well. Black Desert said to have 3 races so far: giants, humans, and elves. 3 races really doesn't seem like a lot, but I haven't heard whether they plan to add any more. People are going to be amazed by the character creator. From the second people make their character, I think they'll become attached. And this is just a guess, but I think we're going to see a lot of female characters in this world. You can check out other huge YouTube videos on all the different options that the character creator has to offer. It goes without saying that this will be a PvP game. This won't be a hardcore PvP game in that you lose everything whenever you die. There will be corpse runs, however, and any gear that you're not wearing, you will have to return and get because it's going to remain on your corpse. I currently see 9 classes listed for Black Desert. The first of the 4 that are in the game as of right now, and that's the Warrior, the Hunter, the Sorceress, and the Predator. And the ones that they plan on adding in the future are Valkyries, Archers, Wizards, Bladers, and Assassins. Okay, enough about classes and combat. Everybody has those things. This is a clip from Amae Games' YouTube channel where he shows you how to purchase a building in a city and what exactly this building can be used for. Now, lots of games have had housing in the past, but the way they do it in Black Desert seems like it's going to be a little different. They let you take a building in a city, which is a real city in the world, not an instance, and use it for not only setting up your house and, like, you know, putting furniture and whatnot in, but they let you use it as like a shop. You can do blacksmithing or whatever kind of crafting you're into from this location in the city, and players can come by and like buy from you. That is really cool. That's quite different than how it's been in other games. Now, a lot of games have had kiosks, and that's cool too, but this is definitely taking it to the next level. Here's a clip of actually decorating a house in Black Desert. They give you lots of items that you can place in the house, and you can craft them yourself, or you can go to other builders, other crafters, and purchase their goods and bring them back to your house. There's beds and all manner of furniture, bookshelves, paintings, rugs. Pretty much anything you'd want to place in a house is here. Now let's take a look at crafting in Black Desert. This information is from black-desert.com, which is a fan site, and it currently seems to be the best source of information on Black Desert. It looks like they're going to offer a really robust crafting system in this game, which lends to a larger focus on trading and interacting with players and player interdependence. And for those of you who might not know what that means, it simply means there's too much in the game for you to do all on your own. There will be some things you'll do and specialize in, and then other things other players will specialize in, and then you trade. Now here you see there's both crafting and then there's gathering, much like you find in other games. Though I can't say for certain which forms of harvesting they have planned because all the screenshots are in Korean. I will say logging, however, is confirmed. Seriously though, based on the icons, it looks like logging, skinning, plant harvesting of some sort, maybe definitely mining, tilling, probably something farming related, and then maybe butchering. And there's a few other icons I really couldn't interpret. Maybe this is a lint collector? I don't know. And in addition to the gathering and crafting, they're also going to have some fabrication and special crafting. I'm not sure exactly what all that will entail, but Here they talk about shaking, as in shaking ingredients, like maybe for alchemy. And beyond these things, there's also going to be fishing and playing music. The only thing I've seen mentioned so far is the flute, but hopefully they'll add some other instruments too. And the last thing I'm going to bring up regarding crafting and gathering is the ability players will have to hire out NPCs to do certain jobs for you. You can have NPCs, like, I guess, probably cut wood based on these videos, probably do farming, probably do mining, and that sort of thing to get materials for you to continue crafting. And that's something that sandbox games are in a great need of, in my opinion. Some of that monotony really needs to be cut out, and I think it's a great idea that Pearl Abyss has come up with here. And just a couple other features worth mentioning. Black Desert will have real-time weather. It will also have parkour movement. So EQ Next will not be the only MMO in the near future to feature this. It'll have a day and night cycle, and it'll also have mercenaries, which I'm not exactly sure what that will entail. Like I said before, guys, all the information about this game is not really out there yet, but there is more information at black-desert.com, and it seems like they update it on a pretty frequent basis, because I just checked to try to find more information about mercenaries and saw a few things that were not there a matter of days ago. So I had that link in the description below, as well as the links to all the videos that I got these clips from. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe. I'm going to have more Black Desert information as it comes out, and I will be getting into the very first beta as soon as it is available. If it means I have to VPN to other countries, I will do it, because I can't wait for this game. And I hope you guys are excited as I am.